Hi, Miss Julia here with the Handwork Studio, and I'm going to show you a no-sew t-shirt mask, which is going to be a simple way to cover your face and protect yourself if you need to go outside, during these times. So what I'm going to do is grab a t-shirt. An old t-shirt works really well. A cotton t-shirt is my recommendation. Make sure it's washed. You don't want a dusty old t-shirt. I am also going to need a pair of scissors for this. And if you need to measure your face, what I'm going to have you do is grab a piece of printer paper and a marker, and this is going to help you make sure you're going to cover your face properly and get the mask to be the size you want it. All right, so first we're going to figure out how large our mask needs to be. What I like to do with the paper, I'm going to cut it down just to get rid of all the excess on here. It's sort of like making a tape measure without actually using measurements. And what I'm gonna do is take my paper and just kind of line it up against my face. I know that's probably hard to hear me, but I roughly want it to about the ends of my cheeks over here. And so you might need to cut your paper down so that this is gonna be the front of your mask, or the size of the front of your mask. It's making a template. So I just cut off a couple inches on the end and made it a little smaller because you have to remember the t-shirt's gonna stretch a little bit, so you don't want it pulling back over your ears. Okay, so now I have generally the size of the mask part, and I'm going to fold this in half like this and leave it off to the side for a moment. So I just took my paper and I folded it in half, and I'm gonna put that off to the side. And now I'm gonna come over to my t-shirt. So stay right over here. I'm going to lay my t-shirt out on a flat surface and smooth it out as best as I can. Shirts definitely stretch on you, so they can be tricky sometimes. And I'm going to take it and I'm gonna fold it in half. I'm gonna take the two ends, match them up, and match up the side seams, so where the front and the backs connect, and come all the way up to your sleeves even. But we're mainly going to be working in this bottom section because it's pretty flat and it's the most fabric for you to work with. Once you have your t-shirt nice and flat, I am going to take my pattern piece I made, and I'm going to start to figure out where I want to cut my mask out. Right now, I'm going to put my mask on the fold, and that's going to allow us, excuse me, to get our full mask shape and 2 layers. So we're going to get a layer here and a layer here, and our mask is going to be double. I also, if I put my finger here, this is roughly where I want it to be. I'm going to turn my template, and this is roughly where I want it to end. So making sure you're not going to accidentally come off the edge of the fabric if you're too close. So just make sure you find a good spot that's going to give you the length of the mask to cover from your nose to your chin. So roughly about here. So here I am on the fold. My paper is folded as well. And I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to trace on this top section here right to the end. And now I'm going to turn it, mark it right about here. I'm going to turn it again and bring it all the way out. And I have my basic mask shape, okay? I'm going to bring my line all the way to the end of my shirt. So you can just move your template down all the way to the end. You have a nice straight line. I'm gonna do that on both sides. Keep going all the way down. If you have some wrinkles, just try to stretch them out. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take my knuckle, and I like to use this as a measurement, and this is the end of where I wanted my mask to be. Excuse me. So what I'm gonna do is I need to figure out how wide my straps are, and so my knuckle is gonna help me mark that. So I'm gonna make a mark here at the end of my knuckle, and then I'm gonna bring a line down because this is where we're gonna end up cutting this middle section out to make some straps. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So move your template down. I'm gonna use my knuckle again. I'll take my right hand for this and use my left hand. If you have an extra set of hands helping you, this is good. So there's my other knuckle, and I'm gonna match up these 2 lines here. And then I'm going to use my template to bring it all the way to the end of the t-shirt. And so I've created my mask. So this is gonna be the mask part here, the face, and these are gonna be our straps. So I'm gonna just turn, actually I'm gonna take it from right here. This will work. I'm gonna take my scissors. I am using some fabric scissors. If you don't have fabric scissors, it might be hard to do 2 layers. If you're struggling to cut through 2 layers, then go ahead and try to cut through 1 layer. You can lift up this end here, and then you can cut all the way down. But I'm gonna take it from the fold all the way out and snip that. I like to start on the bottom, get rid of that. You can always use it for something else, some rags for cleaning. And then I'm gonna cut on the outer edge. I'm not so worried about seeing my marker. If you are, then you can certainly, you know, flip it around and use that. So now I've removed my t-shirt, and I'm gonna come in and cut this end over here. I'm gonna cut up to the point here, cut over to the point here. I like to do the 2 sides, and then I'll turn it so it's comfortable. I'm a righty. I can lift this up. You might need to cut in a little bit more to get it all the way, and come all the way up. And if you still have a corner left in there, bring it back around. Okay, so I have created my mask shape, and I open it up, and you see it kind of looks like a person. It got hands and a bottom over here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to just size it up on our face just to see. For me, it feels really good. It covers my nose and my mouth. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie off the ends. So my shirt, if it's not long enough, you can always add extra to the ends over here. But what you're gonna do is tie it on each corner. So I wanna tie these together, and I'm gonna just loop it around my thumb, and tie it and pull it. Don't be afraid to pull it pretty hard. There you go. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'll loop it and pull it. I have a loop here so I can give it a good pull. I'm gonna do the opposite side. So now I've come over to this side. Make sure it's pretty close to the corner. So this one did not get all the way down to the corner. I'm gonna bring it out. I want it right down here. Give it a good pull, like that. And I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do the last side like this and pull it. So I've created the mask shape in the middle, and I have the ties. Now, my ties were not quite long enough, and what I can do is, if you come up over here, I can always add some extra to it. So I can take some extra pieces of the t-shirt and I can add it right along here. Just tie it on. If you need to make your mask a little longer, just give it a good tie. This end over here. Stretch your t-shirt. What's nice about using knit t-shirt fabric is it does not come undone. It doesn't fray on you. It holds its shape. You can pretty well. And so I could take my t-shirt. It has a little pocket here, if you notice. And you could always put in, if you want to put a coffee filter or a paper towel in the middle. So let's say this is our coffee filter. You can just go ahead and insert that into the middle of the 2 mask layers, and then it's ready. You just go ahead and size that up. And it's pretty much ready to wear. You bring it around your ears and tie it on. You tie your bottom section, make sure it all fits around, and then you have a mask that you can wear out and keep yourself and others safe. All right, so thanks for joining us today.